Utter.
Jim Utter, Shuttle Observer. Denny, this year you and Jimmy have kind of separated yourself from the rest of the pack in the bonus point situation for those that are likely to be in the chase. Do you think, or have you already considered, will that change you or your team's approach going into the chase this year? You've had more wins than you've ever had in your career so far. Will you look to try to push yourself away? Are you looking for more bonus points? Will your approach change going into the chase because of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to. If you've got a good gap over the rest of the guys, it doesn't necessarily give you a free pass, but if you have an off weekend, maybe you finish 20th or something, it doesn't hurt you as bad because you kind of started with a little bit of a lead. But with the 48th win last week, that closes back in on us, so we got to make sure we get some more bonus points. We need we need more. We feel like we need 1 or 2 or 3 more wins before the chase starts to really. We go back to Pocono, Michigan. Those tracks, we feel like we need to 10-point them at those racetracks, and so when we come here, we have the mentality that we can win, and so we. It's not just the 48 that we're racing. There's a lot of strong guys out there that 29's been very consistent. Hasn't been big on the win column, but he's been big on the consistency, and that wins championships as well. So we look at our stats, and it's like every time we finish in the top 5, we win. When we don't, we finish really bad. So it's more circumstances than anything. But we got to look at it in the fact that the 48's now 10 points closer, and so we need to set that gap apart even more.
Dustin.
It won't change my mentality. I'm just going to try to do a really good job of being patient and not panicking if we have one bad race in the first 3. It seems like the first 3 races really set the tone for the chase. We've seen that year in, year out, especially for our race team. When we stumble in the first 3, we really struggle. So we've got to get past the first 3 races, and if we can do that, I'd say within 50 points of the lead after 3 races, then I feel very, very confident.
Go ahead, Dustin.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers, had a couple questions. You talked earlier about self-policing. Are you seeing more or the need for more of it now, or what kind of the role does self-policing have, and is it playing a greater role, or is it? There seems to be the indication there's more going on the track now. I'm just trying to see if it's because people are trying to take care of business, or people are getting offended when something happens to them.
Well, I think it's just points mean so much nowadays, and everyone's so tight in speed that when like Martin last year when you had last week when you had a top 5 that turned into a 40th, that stings in the points, especially when you're running for a chase spot. So I think you're seeing a lot of self-policing going on out there, but trust me, that Jeff Gordon will be looking in his mirror for the next X amount of weeks, knowing did I wreck that guy? Did I wreck that guy? Or whatever, it's just part of it. And if I was in his shoes, I'd be doing the same thing, because that everyone else has got one up on you, and they owe you. So I don't think you'll see anything blatant, but trust me, there's going to be guys that going to maybe that I did wrong or he did wrong that are going to race you harder in the long run because you did that. So I think that's what payback's not always about wrecking the guy. It's more just sitting there in his mirror making him think.
I also want to ask you, this is the 20th anniversary this weekend, the release of Days of Thunder. I think you were probably, about 10 at the time when that came out. Do you remember much about that movie? Did it have much of an impact? Were you much of a fan, or does it get on the radar for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, when I watched it, I was like, I don't think that's really how NASCAR is. I didn't know much about it back then, but it doesn't matter. We've never really had a true NASCAR movie in the sense of this is how things work, and it's more kind of just drawn out and to be dramatic and redneck, I guess you could say. But it's it was a good movie. I did like it. I watched it a couple nights ago actually, and it's just I don't know. It's a fun movie to watch anyway. You at least get a little humor out of it. I think people within the sport like it because they see kind of the gag jokes in there of how NASCAR is.
Is the sport becoming more lighter as angry as people are getting?
No. I mean, when you see the cars prepared in Harry's barn like that, it just doesn't happen like that anymore. We don't ride in the front of the haulers anymore.
Thank you, Denny. Good luck this
Thanks.
weekend.